Travi, what's up?
It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COWMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four, invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. Dr. Oja is a OG, got that potion, the elixir, got devotion to all those who keep on showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave and feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time to grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Hold on, let me see if I can get this where I need to get it. Boom, baby. Welcome, everybody, to the party. Today is Thursday, March 6, 2025. This is episode 828 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Ogier, and over the next hour, me, you, Carrie Mara Levy, Team Texas in all its glory, Steve Young, Lara Flores, Captain Columbia, Reed Hurlburt, the Black Badge carrying it, Ms. Julian up in the great New England space, all the folks in the upstate, West Coast getting up early this morning, and Dan Reardon, a.k.a. the Haircut Fish, among others. We are all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories. Really, what does it mean to you as a practitioner? So how can you deliver risk reduction today in a tactical way? Or sometimes we distill the essence out to educate on lessons learned from my personal career, others in chat who have had a long, healthy, successful career, in order to be aware of some of the pitfalls that you might encounter along the way in your journey. At the end of the day, whether it's tactical, actionable information to execute on today, or it's best practices to tuck in your back pocket, the idea here is that we are building a supportive, inclusive, and empowering to you community to be able to help everybody who wants to have a successful career in cybersecurity do just that. Now, I want you to know, if you're a solo operator, drop a hashtag Team Solo in chat. You are not alone, my friend. We are your virtual coworkers. Know that you don't have to go it alone ever. And finally, if you're looking to break into the industry and you're thinking, oh, wait a minute, this is for practitioners. Guess what? You're a practitioner in training. You qualify. You're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? This right here, bing, 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 bing. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's just short of like a light popping up and rotating around, announcing that you're a winner, because you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? You say the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. You meet people like Augusta Delgado, Honorable Ogum, Ebimola Akinrele, Gustavo, guys. Daniel Harper, a hashtag Team Solo virtual coworker. Dude, just say hi. The networking is epic, and it's all about good times. Now, I want you to know we are going to cover about 8 different stories. There's going to be more value than that, I promise you. But you should be aware that I don't prep or research for any of the stories. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next hour.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Because I don't have time for that. I'm a busy dude. You're busy people. We're just going to dive in like we would do in the morning as usual. Chris Whitlock's in the house. Kimberly Can Fix It is in the house. We are up and running. The train has left the station and it's picking up speed. I love it. Now, before we get into it, let me tell you a couple things. One, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, episode 828, is worth half a CPE. So if you have a cybersecurity certification, you have to maintain CPEs. If you do not have a cybersecurity certification, then this doesn't apply to you yet, but you likely will pick some up along your career journey. All you have to do is say, what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, file it away. See right there? Bruisin' Hacks is in the house with his CPE timestamp. Marcus Kyler of the Yeet Crew. Kimberly, of course. Just say what's up, grab a screenshot, file it away. The screenshot is a file. It will have a timestamp on when it was created. File it away in a folder on your desktop. Every single day, you can get about 120 screenshots, which is more than enough for, you can get 120 CPEs, 240 screenshots if you do it every single day. Way more than what you need in order to crush any annual CPE requirement. And just literally as a pro tip, guys, I'm telling you right now, I've been in the industry 20 years. Getting CPEs at the 11th hour, doing webinars that suck, like it's the worst. Trust me, you really don't want to be grinding CPEs at the end of the cycle. So just take advantage of it. You're here anyways. Say what's up. Grab a screenshot. Get value. That's what we're here for. We're here to drive the value train. Let's go. All aboard. All right, now before we get into it, let's give a little love and praise here to the stream sponsors. All the links are in the description below. I'm going to be chatting with you guys in chat as the ad reads go. But let's just pay the bills. And, of course, definitely appreciate it. I will say today I want to feature Flare. No, not Flare. Antisyphon. Right, Antisyphon is in link below, and they are doing a CISP bootcamp for 10 weeks at $0 if you want. An amazing opportunity. Let's do the ads, and when we come back, I'm going to melt your face with the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. Let's go. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit ThreatLocker. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. All right. Thank you very much, Antisyphon Training. Always good times. ThreatLocker, always good times. Had a great time at Zero Trust World. There's a bunch of shorts dropping on the Simply Cyber channel right now, today and yesterday, from the Zero Trust World experience. Very, very, very cool. All right, guys, want to say real quick, shout out to Delete Me. Guys, did you know that Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time? When surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable, Delete Me knows your privacy is worth protecting. Sign up and provide Delete Me with exactly what information you want deleted, and their experts take it from there. Trust me, as someone with an active online presence, a big social media footprint, privacy is really important to me, especially because I care about protecting my kids and my wife, my personal life, from the internet, right? I mean, I'm very open and transparent with the community, but, just randos coming by and checking out Simply Cyber, my kids and family didn't sign up for this, right? So I want to take action to protect them. You can take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Use promo code SimplyCyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/SimplyCyber and enter code SimplyCyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/SimplyCyber, code SimplyCyber at checkout. And as always, Eric Taylor and the crew at Barricade Cyber Solutions, so grateful for them. Long time. They have, if you're a squad member, oh my gosh. If you're a squad member, you know that there is a emote in squad chat, Barricade Cyber Solutions, because they've been a long-time sponsor. Eric Taylor, Jaw Jacks on Tuesday. They are dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil, but Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done. You can get in touch with them by going to their website, barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. You can literally call Eric right now at this phone number. You can get on his calendar right here quite easily. You find a time that works. If you say you don't know how to get up with Eric and Barricade Cyber, you're mistaken, because he makes it unbelievably easy to do that. So hop on it. I know he's been wicked busy lately, so your mileage may vary. So my advice, get ahead of the curve before bad happens in your environment. barricadecyber.com. All right, guys, we are off and running. If today's your first episode, 828, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. We have a special sound effect, but other than that, let's get busy. Let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome way.
Subscribe to the CISA series podcast on YouTube.
Hold on.
We stream our
Hold on. Stand by. The show setup process has like 38 steps, and if sometimes I miss step 17. There we go.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Thursday, March 6th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Former top NSA cyber official protests probationary firings. Rob Joyce, the NSA's former top cybersecurity official, told Congress on Wednesday that current administration-led efforts to fire large numbers of probationary federal employees will be, quote, devastating, end quote, for U.S. cybersecurity operations. Speaking at the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, Joyce, who retired last year, stated that countering Chinese hacking campaigns needs top-level cybersecurity talent at the NSA and other government agencies. Probationary federal employees are those who have been in their current positions for less than a year, though in many cases those employees have worked other positions in the federal government over their careers.
All right. You know, honestly, I got to tell you, I was DMing with somebody yesterday. I think it was Flakinator. These stories, man, it's like playing Wordle for me, okay? Trying to execute a value add for this community from some of these stories. Ophelia Tumajong, first timer. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Also, Practical Ray. What's up, Practical Ray? Squad members, unleash the John McClane action on our first timers, guys. Thanks for sharing that it's your first time. I hope you have a great experience. Yeah. So basically, this probationary, I don't want to talk politics, okay? But just so we're clear, the probationary period is your first year in a role. If you've worked forever in the government and you like switched jobs, took on a new role or whatever, move laterally, my understanding is that period starts over. And because of that probationary period, there are clauses in your contract or whatever that make it very easy to release you. Okay. How am I going to make this non-political? All right. Here's the deal. All right. When you... I mean, this is like so difficult. Listen, when you... Hey, Fel... All right, we have a first-timer that's really interesting here. Fel Gaianilo from Melbourne. We got Australia in the house. Welcome to the party, Fel.
Welcome to the party, pal.
And Fel, I know it's early there or it's very late there, however you want to look at it. We're glad that you're up and with us live. All right, so check it out. Here's the deal. I guess the best I can do with this show is when you have a merger or acquisition or a new leadership comes in and they're making changes to put their fingerprints on things and they fire a bunch of people or they eliminate an entire team, which does happen, just be aware that there are massive seismic shifts in what's going on. Everything will reset to a new normal. That new normal might be additional risk for you or for your organization, but there will be a new normal. The closest thing I can see to this that would be really resonating with a lot of people here is when COVID hit, right? And almost everybody switched to working from home. And it was like, how do people remote in? How do they get access? And it was like, it was very disruptive for a hot minute there. And then basically we sorted it out, right? The snow globe, like I think of mass firings or new leadership or merger acquisition as like shaking up a snow globe. The snow globe will settle eventually. It just may look different. All right. And a lot of people are suggesting we pivot. I'm fine with that. Let's keep going. I've been talking, just so everybody knows, I've been talking to CISO series and the people who are over CISO series about our concerns with these things. They've assured me that they're going to be looking at these type of stories, but I've also discussed that we may be pivoting and doing more of a community-driven show where the community decides the topics that we're talking about based on your votes. So this is all something we're working on in the background, but just so everybody knows, let's skip.
Differing names for hackers hinders law enforcement, says security agent. According to an article in Cyberscoop, an investigator who cannot be named stated during a speech that could not be quoted in the article that malicious hackers take full advantage of the lack of standardized names for their operations since the justice system was set up long ago and is not built for the sophistication of international criminal cyber gangs. One particular problem involves the fact that the groups make use of the Public Access to Court Electronic Records system, otherwise known as PACER. They use it to study affidavits and to learn how investigations are opened and conducted. In addition, the agent added, quote, "There are disincentives for law enforcement agencies and agents from different districts to work together. Everyone wants to get theirs, and everyone wants their stats because that's what they're judged on." End quote.
Yeah, you can't have those rookie numbers. All right, so check it out really quickly. I want to say shout out to, I believe, Laris in England. Laris in England.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. First timer locked in today. So grateful, part of Team SC. So Laris, if you can hear it, welcome to the party, pal. Ataraxia, welcome to the party. I know you've been here regular. Okay, so law enforcement.
Regulators, mount up.
Listen, I've got some thoughts on this. Like for a long time, I have had a big problem with threat actor naming conventions. Okay, that's where Flaming Donkey comes from. If you're a first timer here, and I know we got a couple first timers, Flaming Donkey might sound like it doesn't make any sense. But listen, threat actors have names like Lazarus Group or Flaming Donkey or, Golden Panda or whatever, right? Fuzzy Bear, Cozy Bear, Fancy Bear, right? Fozzie Bear, Waka Waka. So anyways, the reason that there are different names for the same threat actor groups, right? So like, let's just pretend for a second we are a threat actor group, okay? Me, Space Tacos, Legrot, Roswell, UK, and Triple D. We're going ham on some ransomware because our moral compass is broke. Well, CrowdStrike might call us, Flaming Donkey, but then Microsoft might call us, Surge Blizzard, or you know what I mean? Like, so Microsoft has weather systems, CrowdStrike has like cool names. And there is these conventions that as you get to know them, you can see them. But when you're using a back-end system or when law enforcement is collaborating, when I'm talking to another group in a different country where there's already language barriers and standards barriers, right? When I say, oh, we saw some activity from, Golden, Fountain, and they're like, oh yeah, we haven't seen that at all. But they have a ton of telemetry on, Bizarre Cactus, which happens to be the same group. Well, now we've got some problems, right? There's inefficiencies. By the way, this is 1000% The same thing, just to kind of resonate with you on this one from a metaphorical perspective, this is the same thing when you have a server naming convention that is named after, like, Simpsons characters. They're like, oh, have you logged into Marge yet? And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, no. Ralph Wiggum's down. We're going to have to reboot Ralph Wiggum. Like, it makes no sense. Is Ralph Wiggum a file server, an application server, a database server, SharePoint server? I don't know. Naming conventions, they make it easy for communication quickly among different stakeholders to be on the same page. Don't sleep on communication. It's super important. So federal investigators are finding that this naming convention issue is a massive problem. And honestly, it really should get remedied, because what you'll see is a lot of international law enforcement entities are collaborating recently to take down these international threat actor groups. We've seen, the Dutch police, Europol, Interpol, FBI in collaboration with like Spanish authorities, taking down dark web marketplaces, Alphabay, Silk Road a little less, but Alphabay, like there's all sorts of collaboration. So if we want a sniff of a chance at being somewhat effective at curb stomping cyber criminal activity, we have to be able to collaborate in a more meaningful way. This is a larger macro problem for our industry. And by the way, really quickly, you may wonder, well, why do we do different naming conventions? That makes no sense. It's really so cybersecurity vendors can there's two things. One, they can market it better, but two, a CrowdStrike might feel very confident that this is a Russian threat actor doing this attack and they have attribution, but Microsoft may feel less confident, so they don't want to attribute it to that same specific threat actor, so they don't give it that same name, right? Plus, if Microsoft was using CrowdStrike's naming convention, all of a sudden Microsoft is supporting CrowdStrike as a standard. It's a whole thing. Anyways, whatever. Like, it annoys me as a person who really appreciates communication, both up and down the chain. Seeing this is like Keystone cops bumping into each other.
Google releases AI scam detection for Android to fight conversational fraud. Conversational fraud, in which a threat actor involves a potential victim in a live text-based conversation to help them part with their money, is now being addressed by this new AI app that can, quote, flag suspicious patterns and deliver real-time warnings over the course of a conversation without sacrificing user privacy, end quote. This Android model runs completely on-device and applies only to conversations with phone numbers that are not in the device's contact list. Google emphasized that, quote, conversations remain private, and that if customers choose to report a chat as spam, then sender details and recent messages with that sender are shared with Google and carriers. This feature is launching in English first in the US, the UK, and Canada, with broader expansion planned for a later date.
Yeah, let's go. I love this. Google for the win. And now normally I dunk on Android and their green bubbles. Wading through logs is a green bubble guy. His mustache is a blue bubble guy. But hey, you know what? Google's pushing the envelope here using AI inside of basically DMs. I can't tell if this is for like text messaging. I like to the phone number. I think it is. I will tell you, obviously, they say they protect your information, but in order for Google to see that this is a scam, they have to A, read the messages, B, know the phone number, where it's coming from and stuff like that, which means, you'll have to look into it a little deeper, but like, wouldn't that indicate that if someone texts you, like, like Justin Gold texts me, like, hey, like Jerry, like, here's my crypto wallet or whatever, or you're young in college and you're making like bad choices, texting all sorts of nonsense. I'm sure many of you in chat were young at one point and sent things in text messages that probably you wouldn't do nowadays. I'm not judging, you do you, but this sounds like it's checking everything. Right? It's like Grammarly. How else does it know that it's possibly a scam unless it's doing an analysis on it? So, yeah. Anyways, as someone who, I love myself some privacy, but at the same time, I do like that my Aunt Dorothea gets a message that says, this is likely a scam. Okay. Now, having said that, I would imagine threat actors going one step further and saying, hey, there's like there's a trend of hey, this is John. I'm a tech from Google. And unfortunately, threat actors are sending you a message that says likely scam, report and block. If you get that, reply to me because it's quite dangerous, and basically trying to weaponize this as a attack vector. Threat actors are going to threat act. But anyways, I like this. You know what? Use AI for good. Let's go. Oh, the final thing I'll say is two things. One, I would expect Apple to roll something out like this in 2027. Oh, burn. Apple is wicked slow with features that Google implements like years before. Number two, you may want to throw a message like this is a great little screenshot. Send this to your end user community. Hey, Android users, check it out. Google's rolling out a new feature where you may get a message that says this is likely a scam. This is what it looks like. Just be aware. Kind of educate your end users on expectations and new features. Now, this is coming from Google, so you'll probably see it in like the Pixel phones, not necessarily in like a Boost mobile phone you got at a bodega down on Linden Boulevard. That's a deep cut for people who like Tribe.
CISA adds Linux kernel and VMware ESXi and workstation flaws to KEV. These latest additions to the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog involve a Linux kernel use of uninitialized resource vulnerability and 3 vulnerabilities in VMware ESXi, specifically an arbitrary write vulnerability, a time of check/time of use TOC/TOU race condition vulnerability, and a fusion information disclosure vulnerability. Interestingly, Amnesty International stated that the Linux kernel vulnerability was, quote, likely used by Celebrite's mobile forensic tools to unlock the Android phone of a Serbian student activist, end quote. This is a story we reported on yesterday. Since these have been applied to the KEV, federal agencies are required to fix them by March 25th.
All right. Really quickly, if you are a regular of the show, you will recognize this story because we covered it yesterday. If you're a first-timer, I encourage you to go back to yesterday's stories. Here, look at this is where we pulled the stories from. This is March 5th story, really quickly. And ding, 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 ding. And yeah, here they are. Right. ESXi chassis vulnerabilities. Okay, so TLDR. You gotta patch it. You gotta patch it. Fun fact, that's actually my voice. Had no idea that I could reach that high a register, but Base Case, who's been dormant for a little while, is the one that captured that audio at one point. Shout out to Base Case. Guys, here's the deal. If you're running ESXi, scoop it up, get it sorted out. You don't want to get your ESXi chassis compromised. Also, remember djbsec.github.io has a banger of a website that's coming together nicely, where he's got this EPSS calculator. Now, it takes about 30 seconds to boot up on its initial load up. So we'll do that really quickly. Can we just give a little shout out to Palo Alto Unit 42's own Casually Joseph, who's throwing a pinch hit. We called in the lefty from the bullpen. We've got a bonus story coming at your face. Elastic releases urgent fix for critical Kibana vuln, enabling RCE or remote code execution. Now, Kibana is the, so Kibana is like the front end sim of an Elk stack. I'm not going to get into like building an Elk stack or anything like that, but when you hear Elk, it's Elastic, Log, Log Search and Kibana. Kibana's the front end, okay? So if you're running an elk stack, you definitely have this. If you're running Security Onion, you definitely have this. So they don't say elk and Security Onion, but Security Onion's built on an elk stack. This is a CVSS score of 9.9, which is quite serious, right? We're going to pull this up in a second. Here's the deal. Most people aren't going to have their SIM internet facing, by the way. So don't crap your pants immediately when you see an RCE on an elk stack. It's not good, right? Your SIM is a central nerve center for your SOC analyst and your entire SOC on being able to correlate logs and see, basically bad going on in your environment. So if a threat actor can pop an RCE, that's not good. Log stash, thank you. So if listen, really quickly, if your SIM is internet facing, you've got way bigger problems. You need to talk to an architect and get that sorted out ASAP. Very, very unlikely that it's internet facing. If you're running an elk stack, definitely get this sorted out. All right. RCEs, that's all there is. It doesn't matter. Like how it's executed. If you are a security researcher and you would like to check this out, go get it. It looks like the affected versions of Kibana are from 8.15 to 8.17.3, and 8.17.3 is a cleared version, so check it out. Getting back to the ESXi chassis one, you have 0.08% a chance of getting exploited in the next 30 days, so not really a big deal. You don't want to get popped, but, honestly. And this hot elk one is not, or Kibana one is not currently in the EPSS repository. So it's so fresh, it's not even in there yet. So TLDR, patch your elk stack.
Thanks to this week's episode sponsor, ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker is a global leader in zero-trust endpoint security, offering cybersecurity controls to protect businesses from zero-day attacks and ransomware. ThreatLocker operates with a default deny approach to reduce the attack surface and mitigate potential cyber vulnerabilities. To learn more and start your free trial, visit threatlocker.com. That is ThreatLocker.com.
God, someone tell Nick Barker we are at the bottom of the hour, nailing it, guys. This team, I got to tell you, really proud of this crew right here. We are crushing it. You guys are amazing. Very, very awesome. We're halfway through the show, and we're I feel like we stretched out before we went for this run, and just everything's kind of clicking right now. Casually, Joseph's throwing pinch hits into the mix. Kimberly can fix it, is managing chat with just her delightful, approachable way. You guys are all popping off. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all so very much to being here, and thank you to the sponsors. Barricade Cyber, ThreatLocker, Delete Me, Antisyphon. Guys, I don't randomly pick sponsors, okay? I collaborate with vendors and businesses and business owners that I really like and I think is doing good. And this is a collection of them. So I'm very, very grateful to them for wanting to sponsor the show. And I'm also grateful for the opportunity to find cool people that want to be part of what we're doing here at Simply Cyber. Every single day of the week has a special segment. And today is What's Your Meme Thursday. Now, Dan Reardon, if you did not know, Haircut Fish, he's in chat, and every single Thursday he generates a custom meme just for us. He does it a lot more than just every Thursday for some of us. But you may have heard me say 1.21 gigawatts recently. I just want you to know, when there's a political story in the stream, my initial reaction is, great Scott. So for you youngs, this is Emmett Brown, Doc Brown, the wacky kooky scientist from the Back to the Future franchise. I feel like retro is coming really back right now. So if you're not, you probably already got reintroduced to the Back to the Future franchise, but this is it. Thank you very much, Haircut Fish. I'll leave it there. I'm I'm gonna boogie down to the la 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 la. So Alpha Sierra, please slide in. Drum major Alpha Sierra is gonna lead us off on the la 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 la's, and then we are gonna get down to business. Thank you, Haircut Fish. Always a pleasure.
Will you walk on by? Call my name. Will you call my name? I say la 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 la
So good, so good. And I promise you, long timer or first timer, when you hear that song in a hotel lobby, you will think of Simply Cyber. I promise you, it's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's slide back in. Yeah.
U.S. charges Chinese infrastructure hackers. As quoted in Bleeping Computer, quote, the U.S. Justice Department has charged Chinese state security officers along with APT-27 and iSoon hackers for network breaches and cyber attacks that have targeted victims globally since 2011. iSoon is spelt lowercase I hyphen uppercase S and then lowercase OON, iSoon. The victims include U.S. federal and state government agencies, foreign ministries of multiple governments in Asia, U.S.-based dissidents, as well as a prominent religious organization in the United States. iSoon also goes by the name Anjun, information technology, that is ANXUN. Venezuelans.
All right. So, okay. So we've got Department of Justice indictments out for these two dudes, or for a collection of dudes. Hold on. Where's the perp shot? Usually they show like the indictment with the people's photos. Whatever. They said APT-27. This is another one of those ones where like it's APT-27 or iSoon. Anytime you get one of the APT is just advanced persistent threat. It's, let's go. Let me see. I'm on MITRE ATT&CK and I'm on. Interesting, they don't have APT-27 here. You see that? So this is one of those ones where MITRE ATT&CK is not comprehensive. I wonder if they have iSoon. Threat actor. No. All right, so even though this one's kind of pervasive, it's not in the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Let's see. Chinese state security officers, along with APT-27. Again, these people are likely never to be brought to justice or extradited. China's not going to be like, oh, sure, here you go. You got it. No problem. They have been targeting victims since 2011. Honestly, I got to tell you right off the rip, I find it stunning that MITRE ATT&CK does not have this threat actor group in its data set, considering these actors have been active for 14 years. And targeting high profile groups like U.S. federal and state agencies, foreign ministries. I mean, it's pretty. This isn't them targeting the mom and pop publisher in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. This is like attacking federal agencies. Let's see. Right, pay handsome for stolen data. Yep. So espionage for hire. Okay. Yeah. All right. So State Department offers a reward of $10 million for information leading to the arrest of these people. Again, these people are not getting arrested. They're in China. Like, they're not going to get arrested. Second of all, and I want to bring your attention to this. $10 million is the most I've ever really seen by the State Department or the FBI for bringing people to justice. We saw Lockbit, the Dimitri guy who runs Lockbit, have a $10 million bounty on his head, which is why I found it unbelievable the other day when the Bybit people announced $140 million in bounty for the return of the money from the $1.5 billion hack from Lazarus Group. You can see 20 bounty hunters have gotten $4 million already. I mean, it's crazy. It's awesome, but it's crazy. This is here. I'll drop a link to this in chat if you're interested. Again, I feel like I'm letting you guys down because you can't really do anything with this information to help your business. Just be aware, these threat actors, they're out there. Department of Justice knows,
Arrested for ATM jackpotting. 2 individuals, both Venezuelan nationals, were arrested in Illinois for jackpotting ATMs in New York and possibly also in Massachusetts and Illinois. Jackpotting refers to the installation of malware on the hard drive of an ATM or replacing the drive entirely with an infected device. It is believed that these attacks netted the thieves approximately $187,000. They have now been charged with bank theft and conspiracy to commit bank theft and face up to 10 years in prison.
All right. So this is kind of fun. ATM jackpotting is a thing. Okay. You don't see it very often. Well, first of all,
Regulators! Mount up.
Yes. Okay, so ATM jackpotting is a thing. You don't see it very often, but the concept is you can walk up to an ATM anywhere and cast a magic spell on it and just start spitting money out. There's been some really cool. There's been some really cool Black Hat talks, DEF CON talks right here. Black Hat 2010. So this isn't a new phenomena. This has actually been around.
These buttons are
2010 is, as far as I know, this is the earliest instance that I'm aware of jackpotting an ATM in 2010 by this Barnaby Jack. We saw people talk about it in chat also. And you could see, like, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it here, but have it start spitting money. Oh, look at it. It actually says jackpot on the screen, which is hilarious. And then, like, this is classic lulls, if you will. And then here it goes. Look at it. Just start spit money out. So they call it jackpotting because it's very similar to hitting a what do they call those machines that you pull the lever on? They're called one-arm bandits, but there's like a more modern term for them. Not roulette machines. What the hell do they call those things? I don't like gambling and I suck at casino, whatever. So I figure out what those things are called, but the thing where you pull the lever down and it gives you the 3, cherries or whatever, that's why they call it jackpotting. Now, okay, hey, Bruce and Hacks is letting us know that APT-27 is on MITRE ATT&CK as threat group 3390. Thank you, Bruce and Hacks. I was surprised that it wasn't there. Slot machine. Thank you, guys. We got an assist from the Simply Cyber community, y'all. Slot machines. So anyways, here's the deal. It can be done. This is a 19-year-old and a 24-year-old. I would be interested in the attack technique that was actually implemented. You will not actually get the details of this attack technique in any news reporting because otherwise people would go ham on it. Just know that this has nothing to do with like immigration or, people, coming into America. Like, it's just 2 Venezuelans and they jackpot an ATM. Now, I will say that, they are young, so they probably weren't making great choices. But if you were going to jackpot an ATM, I would not do it in the United States, right? Like, it's, ATMs are under constant surveillance. You're basically doing a bank robbery, essentially. I mean, you'd be better off just stealing the ATM, jackpotting it, and then throwing it in like a landfill or something. Let's see. So they removed the ATM's cover using a key and installed something on the machine. I would assume that they use some type of USB device in order to infect the machine. How they did Massachusetts and Illinois, my suspicion is that they had accomplices in different areas. They wouldn't be like driving around. Let's see. 10 years in prison, though. That's no good. Yep. So Justin Gold, I agree with you 100%. Do you want to know? So again, you guys, if you know for a minute, I love fraud. Okay. No, I don't like committing fraud. I don't like fraud. I like fraud as an area of study because I find it fascinating. But I'm not like committing fraud or asking anyone to commit fraud. But in my studies, most people who commit financial fraud, they don't get caught because of their technique. They get caught because they get too freaking greedy, and they get caught because they basically go overboard on it. These clown babies also got caught because they went back to the same ATM multiple times. Here's a friggin' news flash, dude. Go to one, go jackpot it, and go to another one. I know it's easy to just go back to one you've already infected, but guess what? Once the cat's out of the bag, they're going to be watching that ATM. Donkey. So anyways, I'm not saying, listen, I don't want anyone to commit fraud. I'm just telling you, in all the cases I've studied, there's an overwhelming amount of time that the attacker gets caught because of greed. That's it. Ask Jim Lund. Is Jim Lund in chat? Where are we? Jim Lund's not in chat. Jim Lund, if you're going to watch this on replay, holler in the chats. John Doe has an interview tomorrow at Threat Locker. Go crush it, dude. Hope you kill it. All right, anyways, jackpotting's still a thing in 2025.
Ransomware group claims Tata attack. Following up on a story we covered last month, the cybercrime group Hunters International has now claimed responsibility for a cyber attack on Indian engineering firm Tata Technologies and is threatening to leak 1.4 terabytes of its data. This week, the group added Tata to their Tor-based leak site and is threatening to make all the data public within the next 6 days. Silk Typhoon.
All right. Sorry, I got a lot going on here. So Tata Technologies is definitely a big player in the space. Hunters International is another. This is like, to me, a tier 2 ransomware threat actor. Hold on. Super busy. I feel like, and this isn't to like throw shade at Hunters International. It's just, I feel like they don't get as much press as they deserve for how effective they are, but they are hyper effective, which is why I put them on tier 2. Tata Technologies is a huge player in the space. They have IT, they do MSP, they do other stuff. And Hunters International has had several high profile victims. They have 1.4 terabytes of data, which is quite a bit, right? And you could see that one of the subsidiaries, Tata Motors, disclosed in a regulatory filing that they had been breached. Classic, this is classic ransomware victim. They hire external experts to help them manage through the attack. And, Hunters International has updated their leak site. Most of these threat actors that are, professional threat actors will have leak sites. They're usually publicly accessible sites that you can go to see who they've got. And the reason they do that is to basically put pressure on the victims to want to pay to get off the leak site. In this instance, they actually have it on a Tor-based leak site. Maybe they're just doing that for OPSEC in order to not have a public-facing website, or they don't have the bulletproof hosting available to them. I don't know where they're operating out of. But see, yeah, they've been operating since late 2023, so they've been around for a year. And looks like they've been using techniques used by Hive ransomware gang, which was disrupted by law enforcement. All right, so let me tell you this. I've said this before on the stream, but I haven't said it in a while. When law enforcement takes down ransomware threat actor groups, if they don't arrest the humans behind them, those ransomware threat actor groups will reemerge as a new name, a new, group, a new whatever, but kind of the same old attack vectors. Listen, if you are a football player, okay, like this is like a perfect metaphor. Let's say you're a really great running back, okay? Or heck, let's piss off a bunch of people. Let's say you're Tom Brady. Oh yeah. Okay, you're Tom Brady. You're the greatest quarterback of all time. You're a New England Patriot forever. And then the New England Patriots implode. Bob Kraft sells the team. They disappear or whatever. Tom Brady's still the greatest quarterback. He's just not wearing Patriots jersey. Then he shows up in Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? You didn't take Tom Brady out of the game. You just changed his laundry. Then Tom Brady shows up as Tampa Bay Buccaneers and takes down another Super Bowl. It's the same thing. If you don't take down the humans behind it, all they do is switch the laundry, and they're still hyper effective at doing whatever it is, throwing touchdowns or ransomwaring, enterprises, right? So it's the same thing. You have to arrest, and I'm not saying we arrest Tom Brady, okay? Please don't mistake that. I don't want to show up in anyone's IG or the Graham feeds. I'm showing how old I am. I don't even know what the kids call it. I don't want to show up on the TikToks. Cybersecurity professional claims Tom Brady should be arrested. But you get my point, right? If you don't take them down, they just reemerge. Hunters International, they're doing things. Classic ransomware protection mechanisms, exercises awareness, data backups, immutable backups, and think through what happens if you get attacked.
Evolves to exploit common IT solutions. The Chinese espionage group Silk Typhoon, also known as Hafnium, has been identified by security researchers at Microsoft Threat Intelligence to be, quote, increasingly exploiting common IT solutions such as remote management tools and cloud applications to gain initial access, end quote. Silk Typhoon is one of the best resourced and technically adept state-sponsored threat actors targeting IT services, healthcare, government agencies, and higher education institutions globally. Recent activity by the group includes, quote, abusing stolen API keys and credentials from privileged access management systems, cloud application providers, and cloud data management companies. These activities allow the group to, quote, infiltrate downstream customer environments, conduct reconnaissance, and exfiltrate data related to U.S. government policy, legal processes, and other areas of strategic interest, end quote. Microsoft says the group also uses password spray attacks, scanning public repositories like GitHub for leaked corporate passwords.
Triple D, Divine Dream Divine. I mean, I guess old is kind of a subjective term. If you ask my children, I'm ancient. But I am 45, 44, 45. So choose your own adventure. To me, age is a state of mind, not how many miles are on your body. Although, it does take me an extra day or so to rebound from a wedding reception, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, so whatever. Silk Typhoon, guys, if you didn't know, Silk Typhoon, Chinese-based, very sophisticated threat actor. Here's the deal. I want to remind everybody this really quickly. Just because you're a sophisticated threat actor, just because you have elite level skills, just because you hack the Gibson in the 1995 movie Hackers, doesn't mean you need to employ those techniques in order to achieve your goals. Silk Typhoon isn't getting a participation medal for using elite level 0 days. If they can scan misconfigured data repos and GitHub source codes and find API keys, those work just fine. Literally, it's about actions on objective, right? If someone, think about yourself. If someone tells you to do a job at work, your boss tells you to do a job at work, hey, can you put these reports together? You're going to print them out, 3-hole punch, put the little binder in it and call it a day. There's no way you're if your boss is like, hey, can you put a report together? You're not like, sure. And then busting open 2 laptops and doing this guy. And then renting an Uber Black to go to FedEx Kinko's and get this thing printed out on, 13 by 15 super laminated glossy paper. Right. And then adding a light show and a fog machine as you deliver it to your boss. No one's doing that. Your boss asked you to deliver a report. You're going to deliver a report and be on to the next thing because all you care about is action on objective, not how sexy and cool it looks, Now, granted, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If you do deliver a report with a fog machine and a laser show, that would be sick and memorable. But really,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
okay, so Silk Typhoon is using what it has at its disposal, and that's it. Having said that, you should absolutely, in your own environment, whether you're running in a hybrid environment, pure cloud, on-prem only, whatever. I guess on-prem, you're probably safe from this, but who the hell is, I'm sorry, who? How's that? Are we back? I think we're back. I'm showing audio here. Yes, sir. All right. So that's just me messing with you. Honestly, no, my Go XLR mixer just went out. I don't know, guys. I got to tell you, I've got a lot of miles on this mixing board. It might be time to revisit it. I don't know. It's great to have you back, though. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the living crap out of the show. For you first-timers, definitely appreciate having you here today. Let me see what we're doing here. Let me see really quickly. DJ Bisek will be unable to do jaw jacking on Thursday for a few weeks. He's got some challenges, some issues that he's working with. No big deal. Mono Julian, thank you for the super chats. Appreciate that. As always, I have to teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I'm unable to do jaw jacking. I'm just kind of checking something really quickly. No, so we are going to punt on jaw jacking today, which is okay. Occasionally we have to do that. I want to say thank you to all of you for being here today. We got a lot going on. My man, Wading Through Logs. Actually, Wading Through Logs was who I was going to tag. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves, if you would. Hold on, let me. What would be a good? What is a good? Hold on. Give me a second. I'm actually going to try to do something here.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
All right. So, Real Bilbo says, "See, I didn't touch it at Trist World. Did the same thing. Seriously conservative." Real Bilbo, thanks for the super chat, and would love to have you in Charleston. All right, hold on 1 second. All right. Ooh, more super chats. Come on, Julian. We don't have to donate to the sound system. We have to donate to the sound system as well now. I will officially become Simply Cyber Sys Administrator. Oh my God. See, thank you for the super chat. This is why I love the community. You guys are so supportive and so encouraging, and have a good time with it. I was trying to get a couple different people to jump in here. Hold on 1 second. Oh, all right. Hey, mods, get ready. We've got a pinch hitter coming in hot. I've got a delightful treat for the community here. All right, my man, my good friend. So I put on this attack map because I've been watching a lot of shorts and trying to figure out what it is because my shorts suck. And apparently you've got to have a lot of action going on. So starting next week, I'm going to play video games while I do the daily cyber threat brief. I'm joking. I'm absolutely not going to do that. All right. Let me do this. We got my man. You can see South Africa's going on. Guys, shout out to all of you. I want to remind everybody that later today, we've got a banger of a Simply Cyber Live, Simply Cyber Firesides, excuse me. Brittany White, a.k.a. B-Dubs, is going to be my guest at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about personal branding. She's destroying it as far as personal branding goes. This will pair nicely with the portfolio building workshop that Chris Whitlock and Dennis Keefe did on Monday. So definitely come check that out. I'll drop a link in chat to it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I talk about community and community support, and it takes a village, someone who really, really embodies that is my good friend, Wade Wells. Wade, we're going to bring Wade in really quickly. I'm going to do a nice soft open for him. Wade Wells, good to see you, sir. How are you? You're muted, yes?
There we go. What's up?
My man. All right. So besides San Diego's own, very blue. The guy's like a Smurf. He's so blue. And I love it. So Wade's going to do 20 minutes. We're going to get you sorted out with an admin. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to run to go teach at the Citadel. But shout out to our guest, Jawjacker. Wade, thanks so much. I definitely appreciate it, too.
Yeah,
Community
no
appreciates
worries.
it, too. All right,
No
I leave
worries.
you in the very capable hands of my good friend, Wade Wells. See ya!
Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my first jawjacking. I woke up 15 minutes ago, and technically I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't have cool colors in the background. And I got Kimberly help me out, which will be awesome, and you'll end the stream. I have exactly 20 minutes. If I disappear all of a sudden, that means someone at work hit me up, and they probably saw this, but we'll have some fun with it.
And really quick, Wade, I'm going to...
Your mic's off, Jerry. Oh, there you go. Wait. He was there, then he wasn't. I am drinking matcha. There's a place nearby that does like really good Thai Vietnamese coffee, and they do like pre-mixed sets, and then so I'm trying to not get cracked out today and drink coffee and just drink matcha, even though there's still a little bit of caffeine in it to wake me up. Yeah, I don't have mod chat. So I am just looking at the Discord chat as it goes by. I'm not sure where I would even look at mod chat. So if you have any questions, just throw a Q. I'm in the chat. The blue teams, socials, like just doing fun things. I know a lot of things about Halo for some reason. I'll throw that out there. If you're just trying to get out, I didn't even get to see the news. I literally caught the last end of the news, so I don't even know what's going on right now. Any tips for a junior cybersecurity analyst interview tomorrow? Yeah, plenty of tips. So Jerry does always talk about like people asking you where you get your news from. 100% that is one I still receive as like a staff level engineer, right? The other thing is I like to tell all my new hires to, or at least my people I'm teaching how to interview, know a breach from back to front. So the one I always talk about is the target breach. Really easy one to know about. You know exactly how it happens. You know what the exact outcomes were. If you know a couple of those, usually that shows that you've gone a step above and tried to learn a little bit about everything. And I've had people ask me, hey, like, what's one security breach you know about? And it works out. I know one person who actually got a job from that exact question. So don't be nervous. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't know how to do that, but here's how I would get the information, whether it be Google, a book, or something like that. All right. Oh, Jerry threw a question. What are your thoughts on threat actors' different names? There was a story about how it confuses law enforcement. Of course it confuses them. Yeah, the threat actor's name still confuses me. There's a lot of good matrices out there that actually show you all the names of any particular law enforcement, whether it be CrowdStrike's naming convention, Microsoft's, or whatever other third parties out there. I remember reading something about someone out there, like at MITRE, trying to make a normalized naming convention, and it just didn't work out. Okay, cool. Now I'm seeing stuff on the screen. All right. That then it just didn't work out. Who knows? Like at the end of the day, they're all this. It's not too hard to track them, but I could see it being a lot for people, especially when they become marketized, kind of like how CrowdStrike does with the action figures and all sorts of other crazy stuff. It's interesting, but it makes sense, right? People gotta make money. We'll say Roswell, UK. Skitty, do you eat randomly? And if not, oh no. What color do you leave to last? I eat randomly. I haven't had Skittles in a while though. My son does do Halloween now, so I did have a plethora of candy this October, but I definitely try to stay away from it. I usually roll more towards chocolate, to tell you the truth. Or yeah, I would say that. Almond Joys, I like Almond Joys, and people hate those, so it works out really well, and I just get all of them. NA's question. In simple terms, how can you describe what a server does? Same thing what a server does at a restaurant. They provide you with the service. They usually hand something off to you, whether it be food or whether it be your drinks, right? Different servers for different things. And then a computer is just something that does stuff for you and hands it off and provides a service. Hopefully that was pretty good. Halo should be more of a cybersecurity in my opinion. I definitely agree. And don't get me started on the Halo TV show, Justin Gold. Like that shit. Ugh. Excuse me, Kenny. Gosh, it's a sci-fi show that's themed Halo. Okay, Kyle. How do you get your IT support team to establish a rhythm of practicing software that does not auto update? That is a rough one. You're definitely have to build some type of cadence and policy and procedure around it, I would say. and have expectations out there around it. Definitely you're going to have the cadence, right? You're going to say, hey, every X amount of days, you're going to have to check all for updates and keep going, keep moving. And the worst part is you're probably going to have to keep up with them and keep track of exactly what they're doing. That is a rough one though. I have seen that in a couple places where software won't auto update or pushes aren't being made, which makes sense. Usually bigger organizations, softwares aren't auto updating, right? They're testing it out on all of the hosts beforehand. Wade's got the code for the late night radio show gig. Yeah. Halo 1 pistol, OP. Yeah, OP. Duh, that's the only weapon you need besides maybe a sniper and a rocket launcher. I've always wanted to, I have a 3D printer. I've never 3D printed anything Halo. I don't know why. I need to. Thoughts on the next Halo drop? Oh, cool. Now we're going straight Halo questions. You know what? I liked Halo Infinite's, like change up in gameplay, which was really cool. Oh, I can click the questions. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, I don't know. I'm clicking stuff and nothing's happening. It's fine. I think I'm going okay. Sorry, we're going like back channels telling me how to do this since I've never done it. I really think Infinity's gameplay was good, but the follow through was really bad. Like just weird glitches. So I play every Halo game on Legendary right when it comes out, so then I can easily jump into multiplayer again. It's like a warm up for me. And I got halfway through the game and all of a sudden there was a save glitch and it ruined my game. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Can you point us to some of those threat actors name matrices? Yeah. So Miter Attack is going to be a really good one, right? They have a bunch of stuff where there's a bunch of different if you go to one particular name, they actually have their own naming convention, and then they have all the names put together. Another company that has some good stuff is Title Cyber. If you look up app.titlecyber.matrix, that's literally, it looks like that's it. That may be it. No, that's actually Attack IQ or Attack. Title Cyber has some stuff. There's a really good Google Docs one. If you look up, let's look up threat actors. Google Doc. ATP Google Groups and Operations. If you Google that, you'll find one. And the last one, I believe, I'd have to go look at my Intel class to remember all of them. But the last one, I want to say it's like Malpedia has it. No, that's not Malpedia. I was right. Yeah, Malpedia. Then if you go to threat actors, they have a really good one too. Hopefully that helps up. I got to scroll down. Thoughts on what do you love about your job? What is frustrating about it? Ooh, okay. So right now I'm a detection engineer. I'm looking over at like my work chat in case anybody messages me. Right now I'm a detection engineer, which is really fun. I get to build out just the logic and stuff like that, and I get to discover how to detect attacks, run attacks, and usually take stuff to the next level, but don't have to necessarily like follow through when they fire. So it takes me off the hook for some things. What does suck is there is a little bit more politics around this. Like if we don't have certain logs, or if we don't have something turned on in a particular tool that we want to be turned on, it can move from there. The other thing is like once you become a little bit more senioritized and experienced, you start getting pulled in different directions, whether it not just be your particular job. And that's been getting a little, it makes sense it's going to happen, right? But it's still frustrating when you don't get to do what you thought your job was going to be. You're just reacting to other stuff. Okay. What is your favorite Halo game? It's hard. I would say in between Halo 1 and Halo 3. Halo 3's multiplayer was the best because the unlocks and everything like that. Halo 1 because I think you can't beat the local LAN party scene. I was literally talking to someone about it yesterday. Like we used to have the gnarliest parties, just up to like more than 16 people. Everyone would show up at someone's house everyone would bring a TV, or we would actually plug in at my high school that would run off the high school's network, and all of us be hidden in rooms, and all we have is an Xbox, a TV, and a network cable, and we're good to go. And like a teacher would walk into a room and it'd just smell like BO, and there'd be like 4 high school kids in there just going hard on Halo. So one is definitely up there. I still play all the games on Legendary once a year. If I mentioned a cohort, 5 people of cybersecurity professionals, how do I add them to my resume? What can I say? Wait, if I mentioned a cohort of cybersecurity, I would say those would be like, are you talking more about, I'm guessing this is more about kind of professional references. If you're working on stuff, that would be really hard. I think there would be more important stuff to put on your resume. If not, maybe like have like a study group, and you're gonna have to show if like what the results of that study group was. This is where I go with like Haircut Fish, how he shows all of his studying via writing blog posts up about what he was learning and stuff like that. I think that would be a good way to show that on your resume. But having just like 5 people or a cohort on your resume is going to be a little bit interesting. What do you love most about your job? I love like I'm a glutton for pain, so I used to really love the hunt of like finding threat actors, right? Just like constantly looking through logs, looking for stuff. Once you do find something and just completely falling down the rabbit hole and going super hard, that was the coolest part. I used to tell people like my most fun day is the company's worst day, usually. When that means something bad's happening, but that's the best part. I would say that's the most fun part about my job. How does one effectively display practice skills from labs or practical stock courses such as Let's Defend on their resume? Yeah, the very goes right back. Thank freaking Haircut Fish. Again, shout out again, right? Writing blog posts about it, having a website or anything like that to try to show like, hey, this is what I learned. This is what I'm trying to pass down to the next people. Like you could then have Let's Defend and stuff on your resume and then have a link over to that blog. And that will then show them that like, hey, I went above and beyond on this. So it also is going to help you reinforce what you learned a little bit more and teach you how to write. So it kind of like 4 birds with 1 stone type of deal. Brew and Hacks, would you watch a movie titled The Muppets Taking Down Evil Corp? Still starring Rami Malek as the main character, but all the characters are Muppets and the same story. I would be totally down. This reminds me of Muppet episodes from Community. So I would be down. That would be interesting. You should produce that. Are you ingesting logs from all user endpoints considering Splunk costs? Ooh, yeah. So yes. All Windows endpoints. It doesn't have to be Splunk. We all know that I am a Splunk fiend now. So it's still expensive, yeah, especially, but you have to know what types of logs you want, maybe dissect those logs with the particular tools like Cribble or something like that in order to not bloat too much, but it's always going to be cost. One of those logs may save you at one point. Good questions so far. Do you know if there is a B-Sides in the Inland Empire? I do, and I know that there isn't. So the closest B-Sides in California is ours, or in Southern California is ours in San Diego. I know there's one in the Bay, and I want to say there's one in Sacramento as well. But we are the only B-Sides in Southern California that I'm aware of. There's a couple other conferences like Scale, which is actually going on this weekend. That's a Linux conference. There's Layer 1 that goes on usually. I'm not sure when Layer 1 is, but it's another one. And then there's one other which more of hardware hacking in LA. It's kind of weird. LA is kind of doesn't have a great cyber scene, to tell you the truth. Even though you're talking about the Inland Empire, that's the closest thing I could shoot for you. All right. Any advice on getting to cyber currently? I'm currently in my 4th month of cybersecurity boot camp, trying to transition from 20 years of truck driving. Ooh, good job truck driving. My dad's a mobile diesel mechanic, so I know all about truck driving. I would think of how does truck driving relate to cybersecurity? I would think about that. I have a really good video. Look at me, I'm like Jerry. I have a video on that called The Triad of Success on how to get into cybersecurity, and it's about working on your education, working on your professional skills, and then working on your networking, like actual people-to-people networking. I would highly suggest go checking that out. That's usually like the game plan I give out to people when I try to tell them what to do or how to get into cyber. But it's rough out there for everybody. So super sorry about that. And the new SAL1 cert for beginners. I haven't taken it yet. I keep seeing everybody talk about it. My Try Hack Me subscription just lapsed. It was via my work paid for it, and they just got rid of it. So I would, from the amount of talk that I've heard, it sounds like it's pretty good, to tell you the truth. The people I've hearing talking about it, I'm waiting to see Jerry's video on it, to tell you the truth. Is that it? We're good with questions? That was a lot. There has to be more. That was a good rally. That was a really good rally. Maybe I answered them too quickly. Now I'm going up to the chat. Yeah, Halo 3D printing was also great. If you notice, oh wait, you can't see it. There's a Mandalorian helmet right above me. I have a couple of them. It's printing Mandalorian helmets is both long, and then that's the easy part. You then have to go treat them and create them. CPEs. How does one effectively display? No, we talked about. I'm going to scroll all the way through real quick. No problem for the shout out haircut fish. We'll talk about one thing I don't hear a lot of people about is diving into the cybersecurity culture. I always recommend trying to learn about whether it be movies, TV shows, and that sort of stuff that involved. So much like how we were talking about Mr. Robot, I highly suggest going to reading books and try to like learn about the culture, or at least it's also always something to talk about. So like the book I'm telling people always to read is Tracers in the Dark, which is a great one. One show that I think is very hacker-esque, which I do like, is recently Haircut Fish and I were talking about this, was called Pantheon. There's 2 seasons of it in Netflix. And it's not super hacker, but it is like right there with the Matrix kind of sci-fi. Super highly suggest that. Of course, like the one go-to I tell everyone is Darknet Diaries, right? That's an easy podcast. It's someone who's trying to get into cyber. I always say, hey, listen to a couple of these. If this really interests you, at least this is like what operations does and what you're going to at least do a little bit. Got a question from FedEx. Are you ready for your talk at HackSpaceCon? No, I haven't even started the slides yet. I got more than 2 months, so it'd be pretty easy. It is actually co-speaking with a buddy of mine. It's called Detection Engineering, Everything But the Logic. When you're building out detections, everyone just thinks, oh, you're just gonna write some logic and there you go. No, there's like, that's the easy part. Usually doing all the other things is the really, really hard part. So I need to work on that. I've been talking to him on the slide, and we have like the basic bullet points of what we're going to talk about, but this is his first public speaking forte. So he's a little scared about it, but I'm not too worried about it. All right. 21 minutes. I got 4 more minutes. Any other pressing questions, whether it be Halo, sci-fi. If anyone's out there has read Dungeon Crawler Carl, highly suggest it. That is not Halo or cybersecurity at all. It's called a lit RPG. One of my favorite books out there. I binge read 6 of them in like a matter of like 2 months, and the 7th one just came out. So really good book series. So you do? Okay, yeah. Okay, so how does that work? So you do have to submit a talk, right? You submit what you're going to talk about, which is all the bullet points I gave. Usually you're going to write a paragraph about what your main thought is, and then I usually give a breakdown of each section in the slide. So like slides 1 through 5, here's what I'm going to talk about. This is what I'm talking about. So I know what I want to talk about, but the thing is I do a heavy amount of research to make sure I'm talking about it correctly. And then FedEx, you should know, so you can see taking my Intel class, I provide a plethora of links afterwards of how I obtained all the information, because I want to show that I'm a credible source through it. I need to do that part, the research part, and then also loop in my buddy who's my co-speaker. Would you recommend to someone starting their first sock job to crush it? Wait, what would you recommend? What would you recommend to some? Probably you got to stay hungry in the sock. It's really easy to fall into a rut and not do as well. And to just be like, God, I'm closing this alert over and over again. You got to stay hungry. One thing is, don't be afraid to try to start being loud and telling people stuff needs to be fixed, or like certain alerts, like start giving suggestions. Don't start it right away. Don't like just get right into a sock and be like, hey, this is broken. This is broken. Warm up to it. Show that you have the chops to be in the sock, and then be like, hey, I keep seeing this. Maybe we need to automate this. Maybe we need to tune this out of this alert. If not, why, right? But just don't get stuck in a rut. I have done that at many socks where I just hate my life, just closing alerts and working the night shift. Try to stay positive about it, and then just keep moving. What's something you learned recently that totally changed the way you live, you work, live, and etc.? We'll say the child came into existence a year and a half ago. That changed a lot of stuff. That's a big one, right? So I'll think that's the most recent one that changed a lot of things, just because I've reevaluated how much I work and how I study. Now I don't have nearly as much time for like cyber shenanigans, is what I would call it. Now I'm also not playing video games almost at all. Either I'm with my family or I'm studying cybersecurity. And then if I'm doing anything else, it's like with family and friends. I would say learning a little bit more about that work-life balance is the biggest part. And especially that definitely comes with experience. Like I was saying, getting burnt out from the sock. Having a good work-life balance is probably something I would say more have opened my eyes when having a kid more recently. Should I pursue a certificate after completing my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity? I would say so. I would say try to get the Security Plus or something. Like, people out there will preach differently. I think the Security Plus is more of the equalizer of all cybersecurity people. Most of us have the Security Plus, so I can easily know like the exact knowledge another Security Plus holder will have. And the other thing is, like, degrees aren't the end all be all for cybersecurity. A lot of people don't look down on them, but they don't look up on them either. Most of my interviews, I've only ever had one person tell me, oh yeah, talk about your degree. Only one person. So I think the certs hold just as much of power. All right, this is going to be my last question. And then I got to take off because I have a meeting. Yeah. Can you talk a little about what happens in B-Side San Diego? Excellent question, Tony. So B-Side San Diego is on March 29th. I honestly think there's only like 30 tickets left right now, which is awesome. We're selling out pretty far in advance. There's around 40 speakers. There's 2 different main tracks, 1 workshop track, and then 1 new speaker track. There's actually 20 speakers in the new speaker track. There's going to be a new talk every 25 minutes in the new speaker track. Just going to pump them out. There's also imagine like DEF CON, only smaller. There's going to be a whole tamper evidence village. There's going to be lock picking, medical hacking. There's going to be octopus games, if you guys know about that. That's going to be out there. We're going to have sponsors and giveaways. Meta CTF is our CTF this year. We have an after party that's going to have Hacker Jeopardy and bowling, beer, and pizza. And then we also have a career village, which is going to have a couple talks. They're going to have resume reviews and then practice interviewing. So there's going to be a lot of stuff out there. If you're anywhere in the Southern California area, I highly suggest checking it out. It's going to be March 29th. It's going to probably be about from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. at San Diego State University. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Last minute jaw-jacking, my first time, and loved it. Glad you guys threw a bunch of questions my way, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Do I just leave?